Let's see if we can get on. Maybe. Let me test this right here. It should be connecting. Well, it has live. Anybody online? Hey, there we go. Okay. All right. Well, good evening. I'm RJ, and tonight we're going to go over some news, and I have a special guest. John, say something, man. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, guys? It's John here. I'm a big fan of conservative politics, and I love American presidents.
And you just started a YouTube channel, I believe, right?
I have. Well, find me on YouTube, and it's going to be called Mr. President 1860.
Now, I believe that's a reference to Abraham Lincoln. Is that right?
That is correct, because Abraham Lincoln's always been my favorite president since I was 9 years old.
Now, is that because he took down the vampires back then? I saw a Netflix documentary on that, and I'm pretty sure it was accurate.
Well, actually, it's for me. I think it's still inaccurate.
You don't say.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. Today's top stories. Let's go into this one here. So, it looks like, according to Daily Mail here, that Trump fired all the Biden-era top prosecutors to restore confidence in the Department of Justice. Now, John, do you think that the Department of Justice has been fair to Trump over the last few years?
No, not really, because it's just gotten so out of hand. It's just President Trump went through so much. You know, it went through a lot of this BS going on in this country. What they're trying to do to him, dude, people have been trying to put him in jail for past several years. People and sadly, some people are trying to shoot him, which is sad. You know, I mean, it's just sad. You know, I mean, here's the thing: it always happens when a president always has to make a big positive impact that usually ends up getting have an assassination attempt or, God forbid, killed. God forbid. It's sad, but thankfully he's now our president again for one more term, and I hope he'll do a great and successful second term. And I mean, it won't be easy, but I'm confident he'll do a pretty good job. So.
Yeah, I see on here. It says, according to Daily Mail here, that a U.S. Attorney General for the District of Columbia, also appointed by Biden, resigned on January 16th, just a few days before Trump was sworn in. Yeah. A lot of these people seem to jump ship right before Trump got in. It's almost as if they were scared of something.
Yeah, I kind of figured he would. Yeah, I kind of figured they would. Excuse me. Yeah.
And I see that they're also reporting that Kash Patel is being moved forward, I believe, in the voting.
That is correct, because I just found out just moments ago they should be able to confirm him tonight from the U.S. Senate, I believe. And it looks like it's going to be, according to what I found out, probably more than likely be party line Republican control. So confirmation. So I think he'll be getting in hopefully tonight. So hopefully sometime tonight.
Right on. Well, I hope he makes it in. I like that guy. He's pretty awesome. He's been on a lot of podcasts, too, so it's nice to see one of the boys out and get some power.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Who would be your favorite president?
Well, mine always has to be Abraham Lincoln. And there's so many reasons why. I mean, Lincoln was just such a good, honorable, humble man who's definitely a people person. He has some flaws too that nobody really talks about. He went through a lot of depression in his younger years in his life. I mean, look, even when he was president, he went through so much sadness because he lost his son Willie, died of typhoid fever, right during the middle of his presidency. And I think it was February of 1862 when that happened, just about a year after he was sworn in. So it was sad, but he went through a lot. And when it comes to his accomplishments, he was really good at a lot of things. It took him a while to find the right general because it took him 3 years to finally find the right successful general to help him win. He had a few good ones here and there for certain battles and stuff. Like he hired General George Meade to lead the Battle of Gettysburg from July 1st to July 3rd of 1863. And of course, we beat the crap out of the Confederates and of that turning point. Here's the thing: had we lost that battle, the war would have been going far longer than we expect.
Now, do you think that it was good that not good, but do you think that Grant was easier on the South or more tough on the South after the Civil War?
Well, you mean after the Civil War?
Yeah. After Lincoln was assassinated, do you think that Lincoln would have been a better guy to have as the president, or would Grant have done, or did Grant do a better job of reintegrating the Southern states back into America? You think that he was harder on them, or do you think he was going easy on them?
I think in my humble opinion, I think Lincoln would have been doing a better job doing it, because if he was still alive, he would try to make things much, easier and more peaceful way. But Grant did the same thing, but more, a little bit more harsh when it comes to certain things, because if people don't really give President Grant a lot of credit when he was president for 2 terms, because he really, like, okay, how you say it? Since December of 1865, just many months after Lincoln was sadly got killed, the Democrat Party created the KKK, and they were there to punish blacks, And there's also in certain times during that time, the Northern people wanted to punish the South, and the South the one who wanted to punish blacks, at that time. But when Grant came in along, he didn't like what was going on. When he found out that the Klansmen was trying to murder and beat up freed black slaves from tyranny, it's just gotten from bad to worse. And thankfully, President Grant did the right thing to send out federal troops to get rid of all the Klansmen, kill them all, or capture them, and people give him praise for it, including the freed black slaves. So.
Well, right on. I mean, I think that makes sense. That's kind of what I've heard historically as well. He kind of wasn't the friend of the South that Lincoln was, at least.
Yeah.
But I think he's a good president either way. I mean,
Grant was a good president, but he is no Lincoln. Lincoln was more iconic. Grant was. A lot of people give him credit for him as more of as the great general than a president. But now, assess what he had done. What historians found out what he'd done in office as president. He used to be ranked near at the bottom for a long time until people started to assess all of his accomplishments and stuff. Now he's ranked. For many historians, they now ranked him at number 20th president, the 20th best president.
Really, I figured he would rank a little higher than that.
In my opinion, I think at 20, I think that sounds fair. In my opinion,
Okay.
That's just my opinion, but he was a pretty good, decent president. Let's just say it that way. I know he had some some sort of not corruption. What do you call it? So he had some sort of scandal going on in his second term, which was like the whiskey scandal, which I don't know too much about it, but I'm intending to do the research. But what I also learned, he actually saved an election too. Even though he didn't want to run again in 1876, it was Rutherford B. Hayes, which is a different topic I'll tell you guys later. But it was a really intense election, 1876. But Grant trying to make it peaceful for both sides, to try to make it fair, because the election was so close, almost as close as the 2000 election. So anyway.
Well, right on. Well, I have another topic for. I don't know if you know this. Okay. But I was looking into it. Actually, I saw this in a Facebook comment, and it really, I was like, wow, is that true? Did you know, John, that the United States Doge service, the one that Elon Musk is running, was actually created by Obama?
I did not know that at all, period.
Yeah, so I was checking it out. Somebody said that, and I'm like, is that true? It actually is, to an extent. The United States Digital Service is what it's called. Originally, Trump renamed it the United States Doge Service. which also has a subcommittee in it, basically, that has Elon Musk and the rest of those teams doing their thing, finding, bad stuff and, bad spending, basically.
Okay.
But I found it interesting that was that it was Obama that created it, and I think Trump went around a few legal loopholes to basically create a department that didn't have to be created because it was already in existence, so he didn't actually have to do anything to make it.
That was very smart on his part.
It's very clever because he didn't have to, go through. Because normally you have to create a department, you have to go through Congress.
Correct.
And
yes, that is correct.
And get them to approve everything. But since he just renamed it, he didn't have to do any of that. It's pretty awesome.
That is legal. Yeah, that is
I thought that was fascinating.
Trump's very smart, man.
Originally, it was designed to help with like the healthcare.gov website and a few other websites, and it was just mainly just to make the government's computing systems work a little better. Although I've heard that it basically was just a useless. After it fixed a few things, it was basically useless.
Yeah.
Probably why Trump used it. It was pretty much it succeeded at what it wanted to do and didn't really have much else to going for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in 2021, it had 215 employees. Let's see. According to Wikipedia, 900 acquisition professionals from 50 agencies, 230 people. So they hired 15 people in a few years. Yeah, so they were doing stuff with COVID and things like that. Even inspired some other state-issued digital services. I just thought that was really interesting. What do you think about the Doge service? Do you think that they're doing a good job? Do you think they're finding some weird stuff, or what?
I give Trump and then the guy that works for the president, the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, a lot of credit because there's so much corruption in that government that it needs to be expelled, and and the American people want to know the truth of what's all going on. Why are we spending taxpayer money for all this government waste for nothing? I mean, a lot of it we don't really need. So, but I give President Trump and Mr. Musk a lot of credit. I give him a lot of credit for that. And I'm glad that Mr. Musk is trying to help cut a lot of that government waste, because especially the national debt. We're at $36 trillion in debt right now in America, and it's just gotten crazy and out of hand. But
yeah, so let's see. These are some of the things that have not been what do you call it? Edited out by Doge.
right.
But these are some of the things that the government has spent on. According to Reader's Digest, the government spent $28 million on licensing fees for a green pattern for the Afghan National Army uniforms. On a license fee for that. I mean, look at that. That's just a bunch of splotches. It's not Jackson Pollock. He didn't sign his name on that.
Yeah, that's.
And it's they made a good point. Afghanistan is 98% desert. That looks kind of green for me. Deserts aren't usually too green.
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
This kind of spending is what happens when it's not your money. If you work somewhere and you get to spend whatever you want, you don't really care how much something costs or what anything's whether it's even good. It's like, oh well, it doesn't matter to me. It's not my money. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, man. So I got nothing else to say on that.
Let's see. The next one is they paid hipsters to stop smoking. Yeah.
They paid
oh gosh.
To stop smoking.
Yeah, $5 million. Pay smokers $100 to kick the habit. To kick the habit. I mean, it's cool to quit smoking, but is paying somebody $100 even going to do anything?
No.
They're just going to use it to buy more cigarettes.
No, it's not going to. Well,
mind you, these are.
It's just got a little. It's pretty crazy, but I mean, what I found from. I'm not going to mention this one person's name, but what he found out, in his opinion, how to actually quit smoking. There's actually some sort of trick. Now I don't know if this is true or not. I mean, but it's either it's a joke that he was saying or is it true? But I'm not going to mention this one YouTuber's name, but he's funny. He says the way you start the way you stop a kid or an adult from smoking, you give them a whole huge amount of carton of cigarettes and tell them to smoke the whole thing. And they'll be so sick they will never touch it. That's what this one person said. But like,
I don't know if that's not probably good advice to just smoke a bunch of cigarettes so you learn not to smoke again. I don't know. I wouldn't be doing that. But
me neither, man. It's just
let's see. The government. This is like I said from Reader's Digest from last year. So this is all stuff that was found beforehand.
okay.
Let's see, $518,000 in federal grants to study how cocaine affects the sexual behavior of Japanese quails. Yeah, I'm sure all that cocaine went straight to those birds. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep, that didn't. Yeah. Hamster fights. Okay, now, this might be one we needed to spend the money on, John. I really think so.
Hamsters?
$3 million over the course of several years. Injecting hamsters with steroids, and then putting another hamster in the cage to see if the drugged rodents were more aggressive. Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's a little
That's
odd.
kind of cool. I mean, think about it. You have Hamster Fight Club. Okay, so sometimes the money the government spends is actually worth it.
Only it depends. It actually helps benefits of we the people. You know.
I'm kidding.
Oh, I know you are. Yeah. Yeah, I know you are. Yeah.
That's kind of funny, though.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let's see what else we got here. Empty buildings. Let's see. Now, Trump, I heard, was doing something about this. Maintaining empty buildings. Trump. Let me look this up. Trump closes empty buildings. I'm talking about empty buildings before. Yeah, he fired everybody from.
You mean before you came back into office, right?
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know where I heard it. I'm not sure. But maintaining empty buildings is useless. You should just sell them.
That, or you can use them for a lot of things. You can make it to
Retro places. You can even make it an arcade if you want to.
Let's see.
Or a pizza parlor with an arcade. Some people can do that. You can do a whole lot for an empty office building. Instead of demolishing it, you can do a lot. There's a lot of great ideas you can do for a business, for an old office building.
Let's see here. Let's see if there's anything else interesting here. Okay, this is interesting here. Apparently, they spent $500,000 to build International House of Pancakes and IHOP. Nope, it was designed to create 70 full-time jobs. $500,000. Wow. That's just wasteful spending. This is D.C. You don't need to open an IHOP to give people jobs. You just, open an IHOP and not have the government pay for it.
Yeah, because IHOP is a chained restaurant company. IHOPs are everywhere in America.
And holograms of dead comedians. The government doesn't have to do this. I'm pretty sure somebody will. That is fascinating that they waste so much money on things.
If only we had more.
In Congress, if we had nothing but businessmen and businesswomen, or former military veterans, and doctors and surgeons only with no political experience, and every single one of them was in the House and the Senate, we could hit the ground running.
I'm hoping for more. What do you call it? I'm hoping that Trump, in the next 2 years, gets more and more things done and gets more and more people in Congress to vote for things. Maybe the Democrats will actually vote for some of the Republican stuff.
You may never know, because some of
them passed the very first bipartisan bill, which happened in the first week of Trump back in the White House. I don't know the actual name of the bill, but it's an immigration bill named after the one teenage girl or college girl that got killed or something by an illegal immigrant. It was the Laken Riley Act. About seven, I think it was like 7 or 8 Democrats senators joined the Republican-controlled Senate to pass that bill, and President Trump already signed it already into law.
Yeah, I remember watching that. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
He had I think it was 60-something senators vote for it, maybe more. I can't remember the exact number.
I think it was 61.
Yeah, sounds about. Well, let's check.
I think it was 61 or 62. Because according to those 7 or 8 Democrat senators, most of them came from the swing states.
Here.
And I think
one of them, which I'm surprised he's like the new moderate of the party of the Democrats, Senator John Fetterman from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I like. Fetterman is he's different, but
he's
he at least
different.
tries to be fair. I mean, he obviously has I think what is it is it aphasia or something where he has like a disability where he can't hear things and process it. He has to see it and process it.
And
He also doesn't really wear suits much.
Everyone has their own style, I guess.
The only one, I mean, he wears them like once in a while, according to what I found out in the news, but 90% of the time he wears a sweatshirt and shorts, even in the winter.
So according to Wikipedia, it was 64 to 35 people voted for it.
Oh, okay. So it must be. You said 64, so that must be 11 Democrats.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason Mitch McConnell didn't vote for it, but you know how he is.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I think he's voted against just about every one of the
controversial ones.
yeah, pretty much. I think what he voted for Rubio, I think, right? And he voted for
Rubio's
the Treasury Secretary. I think he voted for him too, probably.
Yeah, Rubio's the only one who
Got approved unanimously in the Senate, 99-0. One senator did not show up, but yeah, one senator was absent. I guess he or she was sick, but I don't know. It was 99-0. It was the only cabinet member that it was universally praised for Secretary of State. That includes Senators Schumer, Blumenthal, Senators from Democrats. What's the names? Even Fetterman supported him. Peters from Michigan voted for him. A bunch of Democrats, pretty much all the Democrats voted for Rubio. It was 99-0. Only one senator did not show up because remember, the U.S. Senate has 100, so it was 99-0. And I think so. I think there's only one senator that did not show up.
Probably because he or she was sick. Probably, I don't know.
99 yeses. That is amazing.
And it's the only one that happened in his entire second-term cabinet for Trump.
Has there ever been anyone else who's got 99 in any other terms? I mean,
yeah, not in Trump's first term.
It was a 99, but it was like maybe 80 something for a few of them. But I think before the politics got so polarized, it used to be unanimously on both sides that try to hurry up and confirm all their cabinet people that the president wants to pick. So now now this world's gotten so polarized. Now it's mostly like party lines.
yeah.
Because even when George W. Bush was president, even when Barack Obama was president, they got their cabinet picks very quickly. So
Let's see here. I had something I was going to have us watch here.
Yeah.
You probably remember this from 17 years ago.
17 years ago. Okay.
Okay, let me see if I can get this to work here.
Jib Jab.
So this is from Jib Jab. I think the political commentary on this is really good.
Yeah.
So
I believe it, yeah.
I was going to go, we can go over this a little bit here. And I want to know if you think that some of the issues that are kind of brought up in jest here
Okay.
still relate to today. I mean,
Okay.
some of these issues, are they still problems? And are these insults that each side gives each other, are they still used today? Now remember, this was 17 years ago, so that would be what year was that? 2006? No.
No.
2000.
You talking about Jib Jab?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been around since 2004.
This is 2007 for this one.
Okay, so it's a different one.
Although this must be uploaded after the fact. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's fine.
So let's see what we got here. Plays. So this is you got you got George Bush and John Kerry.
Yep. George
All right,
W. Bush
so
and John Kerry. Yep.
We'll go through this a little bit here.
This land is your land. This land is my land. I'm a Texas tiger. You're a liberal wiener.
So Yeah, the ketchup thing was a pretty good joke because you remember he's married to one of the Heinz like heiresses,
One of the
John
owners,
Kerry.
yes. I don't know John Kerry's wife's name, but yeah, she was an owner.
One of the owners of Heinz Ketchup Factory up in up north. Yeah.
Now, pretty much insulting someone by calling him a liberal wiener. That's not too far fetched, and everyone says don't mess with Texas.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the divide that we have here. Is a lot of people will say like, oh well, the Democrats are northern elites, the coastal elites that live up north around New York City, which Massachusetts is basically diet New York City.
A lot has changed 20 years later.
Well, not really. I mean, most of the Democrats that you see are from the north and from California, and
if you remember correctly,
if you remember, I remember John Kerry used to win those states just like Barack Obama did for because this was before it became swing states. He won states like John Kerry won states like Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Because it was equally divided. Like basically every single northern state voted for Kerry, and all the southern states voted for Bush. So.
I mean, it's very similar. In fact, actually, let's pull up the map on that.
And obviously the far western states voted for Kerry too. California, obviously, Oregon, Washington State, Nevada was red at the time for George W. Bush. So. Bush even won Colorado, New Mexico,
and even
yeah, I think this is the most. Well, he didn't win a lot of electoral votes compared to Trump. He won just barely enough, 286. And yeah, 31 states. Now Trump won. Trump versus Harris.
Which was last year.
And seriously, I have to look for the map. Seriously?
Take your time.
It's let's see if CNN has it.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's history.
This is their projection. Okay. I don't know. It must be old.
Well, to anybody who's watching, the 2024 election.
For the first time in 20 years, a Republican president or former presidential candidate or former president or then now president Donald J. Trump was the first president Republican since George W. Bush to win the popular vote and the electoral college.
Here we go. So yeah, he won 312 electoral votes,
which is landslide numbers.
Very good.
Yep. And fun fact, there's only one state he actually flipped for the first time in 20 years, and that was Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada hadn't been that way since George W. Bush's second term.
Yep.
And he got 60. And Trump got what? I don't know if I have the popular vote here.
I think he won Nevada by about a couple of points, 2 or 3 points, percentage points.
He won it by a little over 3 percentage points. 3.1.
I think I know why Nevada's turned red in future elections, because people
from California moving to Nevada, Republican voters are moving to Freedom Town in Nevada. That's probably why.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I really do, because
there's a lot of people that moved to Nevada.
Yeah, a lot of the YouTubers I do watch that did move there. A lot of them try to stay out of politics, but I mean, some of them kind of get into it, and they're like, you can tell you can tell they left because it's crazy in California, and they went they're Republican now.
yeah, Nevada's now. I think Nevada's gonna probably be red for a long time, probably.
But let's check this video back out here. So.
I'm a great crusader. You're a Herman monster. This land will surely.
See, I never got that joke with calling him Herman Munster. I think it was just
vote for me.
This land is your land.
See, this is just what I was just saying. I mean, look,
this land is mine.
He goes from trailers and the poor. And a Democrat literally it's basically showing that the Democrats are the elite rich people.
Our land, I'm an intellectual. You're a stupid dumbass. I'm a Purple Heart.
Language. But so that was one of the things that bothered me. I'll pause this one more time. We'll get back to it. But the conspiracy theorists, and I never really got into this one, but they say that Bush basically set up 9/11 to happen. Like he made it happen. And I'm like, the
I
same
don't
people
believe
the same people that say that also say that Bush is an idiot. So I'm like, wait a minute. You mean the dumb guy is the one who came up with this whole big plan, kept it a secret, and has never leaked it anyone ever? I mean,
Well, if may I say something? It's like here's what I found out. Okay, now look, people can say whatever they want about George W. Bush. I mean, look, for me, don't get me wrong. I love President Trump. I think he's doing a great job. Okay, now look, Bush made mistakes too. Like some that are pretty big bad mistakes in my opinion. But you can't deny that he did a good job in handling the situation on 9/11 perfectly, and that's why his approval rating at the time was sort of 90%, and it's just I'll never forget what happened at 9/11. I was just a kid, in elementary school when I found out, and I had to watch the second tower collapse. Actually, both towers collapsed on national TV, and it was shocking.
I was in like 7th grade, I think.
I was in
and
4th.
yeah, they didn't tell us what happened until after lunch, and then I went to social studies, and that's all we talked about the rest of the day. And I believe the teacher knew somebody who was either in the Pentagon or in the Twin Towers. I think they made it out okay, but they were really concerned, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do kind of miss George W. Bush when it comes to his little great sense of humor and stuff like that. And there's a few minor things I give him credit for. Trump is not the only Republican president who passed large tax cuts. George W. Bush did too. He did it. Even Ronald Reagan did it. Now, what's funny, his late father, Bush 41, did not do tax cuts. He actually raised taxes, even though he broke his promise. Read my lips, no new taxes.
Well, I believe he raised taxes because of the first Iraq War. We needed the money.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I have to check to see if that's true, but that was a going theory.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I think that's one of many reasons why Bush lost to Bill Clinton in 1992, in my opinion, and plus Ross Perot, who took a lot of those votes away from Bush.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Bill Clinton is a very charismatic guy. Like
At
at least
that
back
time.
then. I mean, now he's kind of
yeah.
he's definitely showing his age.
Yeah.
He doesn't look too good, but
Yeah.
of course, being with Hillary that long probably would do that to you.
Yeah.
But I actually like George Bush. I think he's a nice guy. And
George W. Bush.
George W. Bush.
Okay,
yeah. I mean, I like George H.W. Bush too. He's a nice guy too. But
I think I like his son
people,
better.
I know a lot of people on the I guess libertarian side of things and on the right now kind of look at George W. Bush as kind of a bad guy for starting all the wars that he got into. And
Yeah.
I think that they could have been done better. Iraq probably was a waste of time, but to be fair, Iraq's probably better off today than it would have been if we just left it alone. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Saddam Hussein was a pretty bad guy.
Oh, he was.
So, he would gas his own people. It was bad.
Well, I give
But-
Bush credit.
You don't really give Bush credit on when he took out. Well, not took out. He had the United States military actually captured Saddam Hussein. I'll never forget that. This happened, I think. Okay, the war started in March of 2003 because I remember that happened on TV. All right, so let's see, 6, 7, 8 months later, after the war started, we got rid of the biggest guy of the war, and that was Saddam Hussein. Well, we didn't get rid of him; we just captured him. And then I think he was sentenced to prison for about 3 years, and then 3 years later, I think December of 2006, he was officially dead when the court put him to hang him to sentence for hanging. But
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, I think George Bush went to war ultimately because he views the United States differently than the rest of a lot of people view it today.
Yeah.
He viewed the United States as the global peacekeeper, the one who's supposed to step in and fix problems.
Yeah.
And we paid him blood and treasure to do all that. And it's not like it was necessarily an evil thing to do. It's just maybe not worth doing. But the world's a better place because of what we did, I think, although Biden kind of screwed up Afghanistan, so it might be worse there now. But up until Biden messed it up, it was better off now than it was before. So
The war in Afghanistan,
now it's terrible, but
the war in
that's Biden's
Afghanistan
fault.
happened during multiple presidents under their watches. Yeah, George W. Bush, handle it. Barack Obama.
I handle it. Trump's first term and Biden. So it was crazy. And they said it was the longest war in American history. And it beat out war in Vietnam. So it's crazy. But bottom line, I think George W. Bush. I mean, he did the best he could, in my opinion. But you can't deny his sense of humor and his love for his wife Laura, because you can't deny that he actually quit drinking. I think at the age of 40 in 1986. So and ever since then, he never touched a drink since.
Trump, I don't think, is a drinker at all. I don't think he drinks anything.
Yeah, President Trump never
drank or smoked. Now, I know George W. Bush used to smoke, too, until he threw all that away thanks to his wife, Laura.
Now, didn't Bill Clinton smoke but didn't inhale? Isn't that the joke?
Yeah, well, he wasn't the only one.
I think Barack Obama did, too, I think.
Let's get back to that video. Let's check it out here.
Winner, and yes, it's true, I won it thrice. This land will surely vote for me.
You have more waffles than a house of pancakes.
Yeah, he flip flopped on a lot of things. Like you couldn't trust what he would say. He would just change his vote no matter what.
Yeah.
You offer flip flops.
Yeah.
I offer tax breaks. You're a UN pussy. And yes, it's true that I kick ass.
Now that's what basically Trump's still arguing that same principle today.
Yeah.
You know, he's saying, hey, UN kind of sucks, and without us, it would really be pointless. And it kind of is true. Yeah. Let's get back to it though.
Ah! This land will surely vote for
Big
me.
Cheney over there.
You can't say nuclear, that really scares me. Sometimes a brain can come in quite handy.
Yeah, so that's like the second time they made fun of him for being not smart.
Oh.
But it's not gonna help you, because I won 3 Purple Hearts. This land will surely vote for me.
Now that was a good reference to what was it? Howard Dean going. He didn't really go crazy.
Yeah.
Like I watched it again. And I'm like, this is why he
Yeah.
didn't like him. He just got a little excited, and all of a sudden he lost the election.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I think he was on the rise. I think in Iowa, I think he was in second place. He was finishing second place behind Kerry or somebody else, or third place. I think it was second or third. But and I think after he did that, they call it the media calls it the Dean scream, is what they call it back then.
Yeah, they still make fun of it, but honestly, it wasn't. We should pull it up after this, and we'll take a look at it.
Yeah,
But
I don't mind.
you did it. See, yeah.
You're a liberal sissy.
You're a right-wing nut job.
You're a pinko commie.
You're dumb as a doorknob.
Hey, you got that
What if
Botox.
he really
But
did?
I still won 3 Purple Hearts. This land will surely vote for me. This land was my land.
But now it's our land. From California.
He wasn't governor of California then, was he?
Yeah, he was.
He was?
Yeah, because he won. Before you continue, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he became governor through a
Recall election. It was 2003. At the time, his Democrat opponent, I think he was governor at the time, Gray Davis. Gray Davis. He wasn't really a popular Democrat governor at that time, but Arnold Schwarzenegger just destroyed him in the election, and obviously Schwarzenegger earned him a second term after that, and then the rest is history.
And of course, you have Bill Clinton over here grabbing a boob, and I don't know if that's if the girl's a reference to anybody, or is that Monica Lewinsky's face? I don't even know. I can't.
Really
To the New York Island. What I do?
From the liberal wieners,
To the right-wing nut jobs.
this land belongs.
This land belongs.
This land belongs to you and me.
Yeah. Oh, and Dick Cheney too.
Now you know what that's a reference to, right? Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
Because everyone said that he was really the president and that it wasn't really Bush doing anything, that it was Dick Cheney was really the one wearing the pants in the relationship there.
Yeah.
I think looking back, in my opinion, I think Dick Cheney is probably very corrupt for a vice president, in my opinion. It's just I didn't see that because I was a kid. I think, in my humble opinion, I think George W. Bush, that was probably, in my opinion, I think that was probably one of the biggest mistakes he's ever did for choosing the running mate. He could have chosen anybody else, but if he would have choose like John McCain or something for VP at the time in 2000, like his old rival, actually, I think he did offer him that position, but he said no, so he had to find somebody else. I think, in my opinion, I think if he would have chose somebody like I don't know, maybe Donald Rumsfeld for VP instead of defense, maybe things would be a little bit different.
He didn't. Donald Rumsfeld left after his first term, didn't he?
No, in the middle of his second term. He left in
Oh.
2006.
Yeah. He it's just gotten really there's a lot of what ifs in the Bush back in the George W. Bush administration. There's a lot of what ifs. What could have happened? You know, if in the first term had they found Bin Laden or something, or they got the technology to find the mastermind in the first term, I think the American people will probably love and embrace George W. Bush. That would have happened, and he would easily win it big in the landslide in 2004. That's my opinion. But
honestly, he should have picked Condoleezza Rice. That would have been really funny.
That would have been a much better pick.
She's a smart girl. I'm not sure. I think she's not as pro-life as I'd like her to be, but she was always really smart and pretty
really
tough.
smart.
I think I'm about to look this up. Let me look this up.
that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, Condoleezza Rice is one of the most intelligent intelligent people ever in the history of America, in my opinion. She's really good at foreign policy. I mean, after all, she was George W. Bush's Secretary of State in the second term. Because in his first term, Condoleezza Rice was National Security Advisor in his whole first term. So it's pretty interesting. Just, there's so many what ifs, and there's so many what ifs, and it's just really, really interesting. It's.
I think I found what I'm looking for. It's a quote that she said that I never forgot, and it's very difficult to find for some reason, but it's a very good quote. Gosh, where is it?
Yeah.
I don't want to say it and be wrong. It just be something I heard somewhere. But
Right. Yeah. So while you're doing that, I'm just gonna say some other stuff about all these topics going on right now. I think George W. Bush. I think he's doing I think when he was president, I think he did some things he did a pretty good job on, but not like the greatest things he's ever done. But it's just historians are still trying to do some research about him when he was the 43rd president of the United States. But he you can't deny his great sense of humor. You can't deny that. He knows how to make people laugh. That's for sure.
I can't find it. I thought she'd said it. Maybe she didn't.
That's okay.
I can't find it, but yeah. So this is an article, anti-war protesters, and they reference that there's an article titled "Condoleezza Rice: Iraqis can't eat their oil reserves," but that's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Interesting article, interesting read, but not what I'm looking for. But I heard that she said basically they were arguing over something, and she's like, what if they don't want to deal with us and don't want to bargain, then they can't eat their oil. And that was a good line, I thought, and I just wish I could find it.
Yeah.
But,
Understood. Yeah.
it's a good article. It's actually it's a pretty good article that they have over here from rationalmind.net. It's anti-war, I believe, about anti-war protesters. Pretty interesting. Definitely check it out. Yeah.
100%, yeah.
So anyway, I found the video for Howard Dean. Hold on one sec. Let me mute this here. We'll get the ad removed first before we go through this here. Here we go. Okay, so this is what ended his political presidential run.
All right.
Let me know, is it as bad as it sounds?
Well, you guys, you have already got the picture here. I was about to say, I'm sure there's some disappointed people here. You know what? You know something?
This is from CNN, by the way.
You know something? If you had told us 1 year ago that we were going to come in third in Iowa, We would have given anything for that. And you know something? You know something? Not only are we going to New Hampshire, Tom Harkin, we're going to South Carolina and Oklahoma and Arizona and North Dakota and New Mexico. And we're going to California and Texas and New York. And we're going to South Dakota and Oregon and Washington and Michigan. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House. Yeah!
I mean, why this ended his career, I don't know. It wasn't
really
that
don't know
bad.
either.
I mean, it's funny. It should have won him the election, but instead, it's like the powers that be went, this guy's got too much energy. We don't want that in the presidency.
We
And with Trump, so
He could have been the Democrat Trump. Well, or really, Trump back then actually was a Democrat, I think.
he was a Democrat for about 8 years.
Actually, I take it back. I think he switched parties to independent or something in 2000.
2009 to 2012, and then 2012 and beyond Republican.
Well, this would have been in 2000. Was it 6? No. When was Howard Dean doing his thing?
oh, that was
January or February of 2004.
Okay, yeah. So Trump, I think, became an independent originally in 2000. I think.
No.
Well, Trump is a Democrat at the time in 2004. So he endorsed John Kerry for president in 2004.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You know, that's what bothers me about, politics. Trump was one of them, and you think, oh, I've been friends with him forever. Yeah, he switched sides to the other side, but he's
gets
still
along with
basically the
everybody.
same guy. You think, I can work with that.
He used to get
Kinda
along
like,
with Bill Clinton, too.
I don't know if you watched the confirmation hearings of RFK, but dang, they're so mean to him.
And it's somebody from his own party. So it's I've seen them. It's just bad, But Kennedy Jr. knew how to hold his ground. But you don't have to worry because he's already in there. So he's cleaned up a lot of that health corruption.
I thought what he said, I think at some point that he prays to God to put him in a place where he can help people be healthy in America. I was like, I don't know if that was rehearsed or if that's really what he believes, but that was really cool.
Yeah,
and even anything, just saying that in general is political suicide these days. Used to be in the 90s, that was how you get a job. Now it's, you say that you love God and you're like, oh, well, we can't have him.
I can just
Oh,
tell you.
he really did in his body language, but and also he says he wants to help get rid of the chronic disease, the chronic illness disease epidemic. That's one of his biggest goals, besides tackle big pharma and all of the corruption. So, which I don't blame that. It's if you do something that will actually help the American people get better, people will love that and people will remember that. But yeah, it was good. So I'm glad he's in. So pretty much all the rest of his cabinet members are pretty much confirmed, except right now soon to be FBI director within hours from now. So
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to him releasing the what do you call it? The Epstein files.
Yes.
Yeah, I really want to see what happens with
Yes.
that. It's gonna be crazy.
I've seen
seen one article from it even about a year ago before all that happened, and it's a long list, and there's a lot of people that you and I know from film, television, and corrupt, mostly Democrat presidents and senators and congressmen and women. If you want to look it up on the images,
Hold on 1 second. I'm actually give me 1 second.
if you don't want to,
Give me 1 second. I'm actually looking up something else. It's so Elon Musk is looking into going possibly to look at the Fort Knox gold. So I'm just trying to see if I can find anything on that.
right.
Oh, here we go. This is according to the AI. The last credible Fort Knox inspection, according to AI, was 1953.
1953.
And most audits since then have not been considered credible. Let's see what the AI has to say. I'm curious.
That was when Eisenhower just started becoming president. Eisenhower.
It would not surprise me if there's only if there's only enough gold to make it look like there's gold there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The U.S. Mint says it holds 147.3 million ounces of gold, worth over $290 billion. Fascinating. Now, why would you not want to have your gold audited? I think if they were to show that the gold wasn't there, it'd throw prices into craziness, and it might even lower the United States credit rating.
Yeah, that is true.
If you're lying about how much money you have, then what else are you lying about?
Yeah.
Of course, the government lies about a lot of things.
Oh, of course. Of course, we the American people are not stupid, so.
Let's see. Okay. To be fair, Musk is looking at possibly doing this. So, yeah. Be great if Elon Musk take a look inside Fort Knox. Yeah. I just want to see it. I want to know whether this is true. I think that it's probably not there. It's probably not there. Do you remember the movie Goldfinger? James Bond, Goldfinger?
Goldfinger, I remember very well, yes.
Yeah, they said the whole thing was full of gold and everything, and the whole point of the movie was that there's so much gold that you couldn't remove it all. Like, you couldn't steal it. It was just not possible. Even for the top, villain of the day, he couldn't do it. And his whole goal was to destabilize the gold market by irradiating the gold so that it would be useless and have no value. Therefore, his gold holdings would go up in value. It was really a brilliant crime.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, bad.
Well,
but.
like in the
Lyrics in the song title Goldfinger. What does it say? It's the kiss of death.
Now, I prefer the remake, Gold Member. I think that's a better telling of the same story. But,
Yeah.
Right. Nah. Good movie. Good movie parody of it, but I always like Goldfinger better. I think Goldfinger. I know it's off topic, but off topic, Goldfinger is my favorite Sean Connery Bond movie. But anyway,
I don't know. My favorite Sean Connery one. I don't know. Yeah, Goldfinger's up there. I'm not a fan of the first two. I liked it when they brought Q in, and I don't think he was in it until the second movie, I believe. The original Q.
The second one.
Yeah. I like Roger Moore better, though.
Oh,
I think he's funnier. And Pierce Brosnan. He was probably one of the best Bonds. Because I grew up with Pierce Brosnan. Worst Bond, George Lazenby.
oh, 100%. Yeah. I watched it with you when we were in high school. We watched it on the old VHS tape with our dad. So,
Man, that was a boring movie. Golly. I sat through it going, this is just never going anywhere.
it had a few good moments in it, but I think I think also the worst ending I've ever seen. You seen it? You know what it is.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
James Bond gets married, and then
Moments
immediately his wife gets shot and killed right next to him, and that's the end of the movie.
Right from a
And I'm like,
car,
that's it?
Driving by, like.
It was so not well received. I think when Roger Moore took over a few years later, they referenced that same villain and killed him in like the first scene of the movie, which is
Gosh.
Which movie that was? That's the James Bond thing.
Yeah, but anyway, that's
There's a YouTuber online. I forget his name, but he does a lot of YouTube reviews on James Bond stuff.
Yeah.
Great guy, and I can't remember his name. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
that's okay. I mean, I know this is political, big opinion, but yeah.
There's nothing more political than James Bond.
Well,
Them
I wouldn't
crazy
say
British
that, but-
people. Who knows what they do?
Uh,
But look it up later.
yeah, I gotcha.
I believe there is. Let's see. Let's see if Kash Patel got his next his vote in here. So
Okay.
he's been advanced, but it doesn't tell me whether anybody voted
It's
against him. yet.
advanced. I mean, it's already. Senators are already in the Senate floor right now. I don't know how the U.S. Senate processes, but now to anybody who's watching right now, here's what I learned about the United States Senate. Okay, you know when they vote yay or nay or something, or they say aye.
They say aye or no. Like you have a clerk, and then the person, one of the senators, became I don't know, like the temporary guy on top of the main Senate chamber chair or something, makes the rules or something for the U.S. Senate, and then he or she says, well, the clerk will call the roll, and then the clerk will say, for example, Mr. Graham, Mr. Scott, I, they do this, like this. You point your finger like this. When you point your index finger like this, that means a senator says I, mean vote for yes.
What's a no mean?
A no is hold on. A no is like it's kind of weird. Senators do this. They tap like this, with their index fingers like that, or they do this, or they do down thumbs, like a thumbs down. Now thumbs up. Some senators they vote yes for thumbs up or this. It's just weird how they do it in the Senate.
Is that still today, or is that all from the movie Lincoln? I know you like.
The days of Lincoln were so different, man. It's just. They say the word yay or nay or vote yes or no, Now it's just point your index finger like this for yes or thumbs up or thumbs down and point your finger down like this. I learned something new about the U.S. Senate, so.
Well, let's see here. Well, we have a few people watching, maybe. Yeah, if anybody's watching and they want to ask a question, go for it. And if not, we're probably going to end the stream in just a few minutes.
Yeah. It's really
I learn a lot. I learn a lot when it comes to politics, I learned so much these past 20 plus years. So, it's a lot has happened these past 25 years of the first quarter of this new century. Oh my.
Well, how about one thing we can do here before we end it? Can you say something good about, something good about Biden or Obama, the last two Democratic presidents?
Sure,
absolutely. I'll start with Obama. All right, President Obama. The one great thing I give him a great accomplishment for is basically finishing the job what his predecessor George W. Bush started, and that was find the mastermind of 9/11 and kill him. So I give him credit. I give him the credit and the military credit. Because we finally found that guy after 10 years at that time. That would be my positive thing for what Obama did as president. Now Biden, on the other hand, I give credit for something very small, probably, and that's when he I don't know if he really did it when he was president for that one term he was in, but he's a big supporter of finding cures for cancer. I give that I can agree with Biden on that, and that's probably the only thing I can agree with him on that. So, but the rest, pray for him and pray for Obama.
I mean, those aren't bad things. I mean, I agree. Those are especially the Osama bin Laden one. That was a good thing.
That was universal for both side praise,
So that was that he deserves the credit. He deserves pretty much a good amount of credit for that, and so did the United States military, the U.S. Navy SEALs actually. So.
So I'll give him that one, Obama, and I the Affordable Care Act. Some parts of it are very useful. I think the staying on your parents' policy till you're 26, the no pre-existing condition ban. Basically, if you have a pre-existing condition, you can still get insurance and not pay an arm and a leg, literally, for it.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with how they had a tax on it if you couldn't afford it, because I ended up paying that tax a lot, and most of the time,
I only had it one time for me.
Yeah, I had to pay it a couple times because I couldn't afford insurance, but also was making just enough money not to get any help. I think I did they went through the website and they gave me $5 a month, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't gonna help me. I can't afford this. It was like $200 back then, and I'm like, that's a lot of money for me. I mean, that was, gosh, I was 12 years ago.
When Trump came in the first go around, he
got rid of the tax penalty for good.
Yeah, once Trump fixed that, I don't really think healthcare needs to be touched right now. I think it's fine, kind of ish as is. It could be better, but it's doing okay compared to what it could have been.
I think many people
really want one thing is bringing back health savings accounts. That would help too. Bring that back, but that's just my opinion. But anyway, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I can agree with you on that. But so anyway.
Yeah. So well, thank you, John, for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me.
And where can they find you again?
Find me at Mr. President 1860, my YouTube channel.
All right. I will make sure to put a link in the description for that. And thank you for joining me, man.
for having
Hopefully
me.
we can do this again soon.
Absolutely, will do.